And now here we are in the elf village. I don't know why. But you remember, from the last adventure, Sala was finally rescued. And this wonderful woman named Arcana will take care of her. And hopefully we can keep her hidden from any more of Ariel's evil plans. Speaking of Ariel, he has the crystal sword and the enchanted jewel now. This is bad. If he finds that third item, Rimzilla is going to recover. And me. I won't be a good card master. Oh, I get it. A friend. Nudge, nudge. Indeed. Rimzilla is female. Off to the Stavery Tower. But first, you know, had to check him in her. Make sure everything's okay. Everything is okay. What does this mean? More conversations. More buying useless food and water. Oh, really? And earthquakes? What else can you tell me? Of course there's danger. What did you think? That the Stavery Tower is a nice little hut to stay in? And here's our bulky weaponsmith to sell us some really awesome stuff we just can't afford. Of course we can't afford any of this stuff. It makes me cry really hard. Including some awesome armor as well. New shields. And the typical assortment of items. Also, the price of the tent went up. It was 1,000. Now it's 1,500. And the honey's still there. If you're really rich beyond rich. I'm not. Sounds like my job. And oh my! Hello there. How much is it for a room with you? You are expensive. Let's move on. Women are always expensive. Speaking of women, this one has the typical assortment of cards for us. And nothing new. I know, Gypsy. Nothing new. And that leads us back to here with the painting of the fruit. Carrots and apples or plums or something. To the Stavery Tower! I'll get some items later. Way on top of that high mountain. Seriously. And it's the return of the music from Chapter 1. Stavery Tower is pretty tall. You want to hear the good news or the bad news first? The good news is, it has very small floors. The bad news is, it has 12 floors. Want to hear the worst news? You're gonna get beat up. Really, really badly. So let's go on. What's the worst that could... Don't ever ask that question again, Magmawk. Well, first of all, items. First of all, new enemies. Warlock, we're familiar with him. But who's this new Axe Knight? And Axes forgot to equip his equipment. So let's get some information on this lovely knight. He has a whopping 80 hit points. Good news is, though, he will give you a whopping 280 gold. That is a ton for a monster. One of the highest in the game. So I might actually grind here. But until then, like I said, more items. More looking in the Stavery Tower. Dealing with vampire bees. Take that, vampire bee. You don't belong in this world. 70 hit points. It doesn't actually drain your hit points. Give it to himself and turn you into a vampire. No, that would be too easy. A little alcove here for 2 treasures. Medicine, that's better than nothing. And as soon as I get turned right, we have to deal with Jara. Powerful undead. Wouldn't it be nice if I had that undead blade now? Warning, undead blade has not proved to be any more or less effective than any other weapon. Effective water aside, Axes, it's time for you to be a hero. Thank you for being a hero. That jar is hitting pretty hard. Might want to take him out first. Might want to get the proper spirit out. So you can do the proper elemental damage. It's Axes versus Knights. Axes with axes. Knights with axes. Golden flask for me. I'm not grinding on camera. I'm just taking advantage of what the dungeon is giving me. Like bugbears. Bugbears can be annoying. They have 60 hit points. Nothing else. But they actually give you a decent amount of golden experience. So let's kill them. Before they kill us. Why would they want to kill us? Because they're bears, and they're bugging. But that looks like an orc. I don't know. Just don't ask. Palette swaps. So much golden experience. I like it. More of the gold part, because I'm gonna need a lot of gold to get all those delicious treasures in town. But no, Chapter 4 actually introduces some awesome new weaponry to be found. In dungeons, for once. Also, I need my map up 1 second. Thank you, Mike'sRPGCenter.com, for being on the internet. Because my memory can't remember everything after all. Involves going up and down. Speaking of which, why isn't the kingdom helping me? Well, the kingdom is like our modern day police force. They'll patrol the safe places, but they won't patrol dangerous places. Why? Because the police make it safe. Well, why don't they just patrol every place? Because they don't get paid enough. And when you don't get paid enough, you don't feel like doing your job that well. True story. Now those are useful. The only problem with health restorations for your spirits, they can only do it in battle. I know, that doesn't make any sense. But for a nice hit point restore all, which I believe is around 60 or 80, it's 30 magic points. You'll like Marid. You'll also like this treasure. A tent. Been needing those for a while. I know, still one-time use. What was I talking about? Police, yes. So instead you have to police yourself. Which makes you wonder why criminals don't attack you every 5 seconds. I tried asking a criminal that, but he was in jail, and just cussed me out. He didn't tell me the truth. He didn't even tell me a lie. He just didn't even give me an answer. I know, it's sad. I shall have to go back to the prison one day. Yes, when I was a Boy Scout, for one of our Scared Straight programs, they took us to a prison. The only thing that scared me about that, and I remember vividly for some reason, is an open bottle of ketchup one of the inmates had. Yes, there were 6 guys stuck in a little 10 by 10 room. And they have an open bottle of ketchup in their cell. Hopefully this tent is bigger than a 10 by 10. Most of the tents we had in Boy Scouts, Axes gained a level. Those tents were about 8 by 8 foot. About 5 or 6 feet high, so you really couldn't stand in them. I know, they were cheap. I know, I should be around level 25 right now. But like I said, those tents were cheap. They were green. And they were absolute hell to roll up. Seriously. Most of the guys rely on me to roll them up, and not even till I was 16. Honestly, I can't blame them. Speaking of stuff you should blame me for, let's go to our next boss. Wait a minute, we're only on the 1st floor. There can't be a boss. He's not a boss. Is my mind blind to me again? But look at all that money we all obtained. Over 12,000. And I've barely done any fighting. Granted, each of the off-screen fights is about 1 to 1.5 minutes long at least, which is why you get short videos. This is also why I get tents out. Just in case. Just in case something horrible happens. Which it will. Time to meet our end. With exclamation marks as questions. It's Daaaaaaaao. Oh dear, an evil spirit. A water spirit. So what would be really useful is I had Earth. Unfortunately, I do not have Earth. Unless you're talking about Earth cards, that would be useful. Here's some good news. He only has 450 hit points. Here's some better news. You'll laugh when you see his magic. He has some pretty good defense though. I'll give him that. And of course, Paralyzed Owl is not going to work on balls. So, who do you call in the meantime? Whoever you can. Smash 1 is his magic. You heard me, Smash 1. So let's get rid of this putz already. Especially since we actually have an elemental to help us. Especially since we have axes to help us. I think he's got a little drool on his cheek there. So yes, this is your joke mid-boss. Who's actually your... Yeah. He finally decided to attack, which is probably would have been his best weapon. Unfortunately for him, he can't connect worth crap. Here we go again. With this almighty Smash 1. I know. You should be disappointed. I am too. Even if Fred doesn't look very impressed. Axes! You let me down, man! He hits hard though. Good thing I don't care too much. And that takes care of that minor annoyance. Ooh, nice bonus! We got the Earth Spirit. The final spirit. So let's call him out. It's Daaaaaaaao! Yeah, you knew I was going to make that joke. And he's good at defensive powers. Hooray! He also has the lowest magic points, so that's a disappointment. But he actually has some not bad strength. So if you need a physical hitter, he can do a tiny bit more than the rest of the spirits. And I do mean tiny. So going on, in the second floor of the Stavery Tower. We're gonna encounter a problem really soon. But until then, let's see what Dale can do against a random fight. Like a bugbear. Look at him, he's buff. Not the bugbear, Dale. He smash you with rocks. I wish I had those type of muscles. That'd be totally awesome then. It doesn't help that I'm doing video games for the internet, now does it? So we have a door without a key. That's a problem. And that's the only way through. Let's sigh. So maybe one of the villagers can tell us why the heck we can't go there. I'm gonna use that. Spell of home. Save one of my infinite return rings. And hopefully you'll join me in the next video while I do some shopping. And you have a good rest. 300 gold per night. Yeah, right.